Namo Siddhaswarupananda, Paramahamsa namine, Gora Karuna Swarupaya, Radha Krishna Prestayate.
Namo Siddhaswarupananda, Paramahamsa namine, Gora Karuna Swarupaya, Radha Krishna Prestayate.
Namo Siddhaswarupananda, Paramahamsa namine, Gora Karuna Swarupaya, Radha Krishna Prestayate.
Namo Siddhaswarupananda, Paramahamsa namine, Gora Karuna Swarupaya, Radha Krishna Prestayate.
Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Nayanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Nayanya.
Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Nayanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Nayanya,
Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Nayanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Nayanya.
Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Nayanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Nayanya.
Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara, Shri Vasudeva Gaur Bhakta Vrinda.
Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara, Shri Vasudeva Gaur Bhakta Vrinda.
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Hari Bol Krishna,
Madana Mohana,
Hari Bol Krishna,
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Hari Bol Krishna,
Madana Mohana.
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Haribol, Nitai Gaur. Everybody sing.
Mohana, Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana,
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Hari Bol Krishna,
Madana Mohana,
Krishna,
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Hari Bol Krishna,
Madana Mohana.
Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana, Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana,
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Hari Bol Krishna,
Madana Mohana,
Hari Bol Krishna,
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Hari Bol Krishna,
Madana Mohana.
Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana, Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana,
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Hari Bol Krishna,
Madana Mohana,
Hari Bol Krishna,
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Hari Bol Krishna,
Madana Mohana.
Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana, Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana,
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Hari Bol Krishna,
Madana Mohana,
Hari Bol Krishna,
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Hari Bol Krishna,
Madana Mohana.
Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana, Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana,
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Hari Bol Krishna,
Madana Mohana,
Hari Bol Krishna,
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Hari Bol Krishna,
Madana Mohana. Gurudev,
Haribol Krishna,
Jaya Jaya Gauranga.
Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Gauranga, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Gauranga,
Jaya Jaya Srila
Haribol
Prabhupada,
Krishna,
Jaya Jaya Gurudev,
Krishna,
Jaya Jaya Srila
Haribol
Prabhupada,
Krishna,
Jaya Jaya Gurudev.
Jaya Jaya Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Gurudev,
Jaya Jaya
Haribol Krishna,
Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa,
Haribol Krishna,
Jaya Jaya Siddhaswarupananda
Haribol Krishna,
Paramahamsa.
Jaya Jaya Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa, Jaya Jaya Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa.
Namo Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa Namine Gora Karuna Swarupaya Radha Krishna Prestayate.
Namo Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa Namine Gora Karuna Swarupaya Radha Krishna Prasayate.
Haribol, Haribol. There was a time 5,000 years ago wherein Lord Krishna on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, there's a fight between who will rule the world. And during the time, Arjuna became perplexed, became confused what to do. And then Lord Krishna was telling him that the science was first given to the sun god, okay, Bhagavan. And Arjuna asked this question, how did it happen? Because Bhagavan is senior to us. So ang tanong doon, sabi ni Lord Krishna, yung science ng devotional service, yung science ng bhakti yoga, it was first the Vedas, the culmination of the Vedas, the conclusion of the Vedas, and how to be a devotee, a loving servant of God was first, he introduced it to the sun god. Ang tanong ni Arjuna, he's senior to you, mas senior siya sa'yo, mas nakakatanda. Paano ko malalaman na nangyari yun? Okay? Yun ang tanong niya. So sabi ni Lord Krishna, many births have passed, both of you and me. All of them I can remember. Why? Because the Supreme Person is His body, spiritual. Okay? He never forgets. That's one quality of God. He's the all-knower. Okay? So Arjuna, being marginal, he changes, he forgets. Okay? He's not able to remember, even though kasama niya si Lord Krishna. Okay? So kaya ko gustong sabihin sa inyo yun, the Supreme Person, He knows past, present, and future. He's the cause of all causes. Okay? He's the Supreme Knower. So ngayon, ang i-discuss natin is about our conditioning. Tayo lahat na nandito. Okay? When a person, halimbawa, yung isang tao ba, nasa katawan ng tao, okay? In person, biglang naka-experience siya ng so much pain. Alam niyo, so much pain? O kaya naglalakad ka, nahulugan ka ng, nagtatrabaho dyan si Jimmy, okay? Naglalagay ng hollow blocks, nandun ka tingin-tingin, nahulugan ka ng hollow block sa ulo. Okay? Yung pain na yon, pwede ka magkaroon ng, sa sobrang pain, ang effect nun, may possibility na magkaroon ka ng amnesia. Alam niyo amnesia? Amnesia, makalimutan mo kung sino ka. Okay? So when the living entity comes to this world, he forgets everything where he came from. Yung conditioned living entity. Para kang may amnesia. Okay? And then, when you come out, paglabas mo, kung ano yung nakita mo environment, you identify with it. Especially when you have no wisdom who you are. Okay? You think you're the body, you're the dress. Okay? Kaya nakita mo, yakap-yakap ka ng mama mo, lagi ka nakatingin sa mama mo, at symbiotically meron kayong close relationship, ma-attach ka sa mama mo. Okay? Ma-attach ka sa isang setup or environment or association with individuals. Okay? At akala mo, you're eternally connected with them. Okay? Intindihan nyo? But when you leave the body again, you forget everything. Okay? So, yung amnesia, yun yung conditioning you forget. Ngayon, para bang meron kang data sa cellphone na lang, biglang nabura lahat. Okay? Punta ka sa garbage bin, saan ba yun? Wala na. Hindi mo na alam. Okay? Kaya ngayon, yung living entity, tayo, nag-identify tayo because of the conditioning ng environment, especially itong material world, it's so arranged na you become conditioned here because of this body. So the three modes of material nature has a great effect upon our consciousness. Okay? So babasahin ko to para magkaroon tayo ng clarity, ba't tayo nandito? Okay? At kung ang gagamitin lang natin, if we just use yung material senses natin to recall everything, we cannot. We cannot. Because you're not the body, you're not the mind. Okay? But there's one individual who sees everything, who reminds you. It is the Lord within the heart. Okay? Tindihan niya? So this body is likened to a tree, may dalawang bird. Ikaw at yung katabi mong bird na hindi mo pinapansin. Okay? Yung isang bird, he tastes or she tastes yung fruits ng tree. Okay? Pero yung isa neutral lang, nanonood lang sa'yo. Okay? He is your friend who goes with you wherever you go. He is the Lord within the heart. So I'll read to you here para at least may understanding kayo ba't tayo nandito. Okay? At ba't tayo nakalimot. Kasi yung living entity, tayo, may full frailties tayo na kakulangan because we're not all-powerful, we're not self-sufficient. In short, we're not God. Because God is supreme. Okay? He owns everything. He's self-sufficient. He's the cause of all causes. His power is unlimited. That's why God is God. Didihan niya? Okay? But ang difference is that yung mga individuals who were not taught this science, they relate to God as someone who's so powerful that the relationship is just simply understanding the power of God. Okay? But there is someone who can guide us, like the spiritual master, who can connect us with the world of the activities that God is having, the happiness of God. Okay? So in the spiritual world, the happiness of the Supreme Person is enjoying eternally His pastimes with His devotees. That's where we came from. Okay? Kaya nandito tayo ngayon. Kaya kalimutan na natin. Para tayo may alam yung amnesia. Kalimutan mo na ba? Hinahanap mo, sino ako? Sino ako? Okay? Yun ang situation nyo lahat eh. Na-condition kayo na, sino ako? Kaya ang nangyayari, dahil sa conditioning, dahil na-attach tayo sa mundo, sa environment, at sa mga kasama natin, sa mga katawan, akala natin, papa, mama natin, kapatid natin, na-attach tayo. Okay? Kasi yun lang yung nakita ng senses natin. Kasi yung living entity, condition tayo. We're not all powerful. Limited yung understanding natin. We're limited. We commit mistakes. Okay? Our senses are limited. Even the mind. Because it's matter. It cannot pierce or understand what is spiritual. Intindihan niyo? Jagad. So ngayon, ang susunod, yung senses natin limited. Hanggang saan ka lang makakatingin? Kung minsan, dahil yung body natin connected with time, ang nangyayari, akala mo malakas ka makinig, nakakarinig ka ng Di ba? Usually, ganun man ginagawa ng mga tao, di ba? Tatayo, may nag-uusap, makikinig ng chismis, di ba? Nadungog na ako. Biglang, huy, hadlok! Ano man? Si Keshab nakapatay. Nadungog ng pag-aginin mo, okay? Yun na narinig mo, di ba? Hindi mo narinig yung iba pa. Nakapatay pa siya ng ahas. Okay? Pero yun lang narinig mo, okay? Limited ba? Conclude ka kagad. Nakapatay si Keshab. Okay. And we cheat. How do we cheat? We identify with this falsity. You're the body, you're great, and you try to portray, di ba? You try to make believe you're God. We cheat others. Why? Because we want to be accepted. We want to relate to them wherein they follow us or control them. We cheat, okay? This lordship mentality, okay? We imitate God. Okay? That even in spiritual practice, we try to portray we're great devotees, okay? Pure devotees, okay? Whatever word we say is confidential, is connected with the Word of God, okay? You portray something, okay? You see externally, okay? That should not be the case. That's why we must be very clear with spiritual understanding. And what is that all about? A total recall. A total recall of what our true transcendental nature is. And what is transcendental? Satchitananda. Aham Brahmasmi. I'm not this body. I'm transcendental to this body, a different energy. And the wisdom that is eternal. And what is this wisdom all about? It's not that the wisdom because yesterday, in any way, because of the conditioning also, individuals, they relate to God na, oh, He will save us, okay? He will save us. He will save us. From what? From our suffering, okay? And they portray that, they tell them, we're sinful, we are sinful. And then they relate to God, to the Son of God, that He will save us. He came here because He sacrificed by the Father. Yung mga ganun turo. So, ang nangyayari, we rationalize now na I can do what is sinful. Anyway, nandiyan naman yung Son of God who will save us. Di ba? Ganun ang understanding dati ng lahat. God sent His Son to save us. Okay? To purify us from sin. And while they're talking about all of this reaction, they're thinking, the body, the soul, and who are they? Di nila ma-differentiate, okay? Because you cannot understand the science where you belong, where you came back, when you have this material conditioning, amnesia. You forget everything. Okay? And how do you gain knowledge? By the ascending method. Through your senses. Limited lang yung senses mo. Limited yung mata mo limited yung utak mo. Di ba? Hindi mo nga makita yung ilong mo sa harap para lang kung Russian ka, nakikita mo yung dulo, okay? Kasi ganun kahataas Okay? Pero kung Pinoy, pango, hindi mo nakikita. Kailan punta ka sa salamin, okay? Flatman, ganun. Hindi mo makita, okay? Hindi niya. Okay? Nag-identify ka sa body, okay? Kaya araw-araw, ang iba, ginagawa nila, pupunta sila sa surgery para patangusin yung ilong, injection ng ano nilalagay? Silicone. Kaya pag mainit, gano'n sila, tago sila sa init kasi malanoy man, mag-gano'n ang ilong nila. Kaya lagi nakagano'n. Lagi nakatago, okay? Yung meditation mo, ilong, ako ang ilong, ako ang ilong, ako ang ilong. Why? To be accepted by, taas ang ilong ko. Di ba? Ano yung kanta nila? Ako ay Pinoy, pango ang ilong. Di ba? Di ba? Di ba? Talaga sikat. Okay? Pilipino ako. Okay? Na-condition tayo sa environment, saka kung ano naririnig natin. Okay? So, yun ang, kaya kung ina nyo yun, para magkaroon kayo ng recall, magtanong nyo, ba't ako nandito? Saan ako galing? Okay? Okay? Hindi na, so pag naintindihan nyo yun, nandito kayo ngayon, hindi na kayo mag-iisip, I left my heart in tampilisan. Hindi na ganon. Kasi alam nyo, hindi kayo galing dun eh. Na-condition kayo, lumaki dun. Nakausap nyo yung mga, meron kayong kambing doon, baboy, inanay, yung puno na tinanim nyo, yung bahay ng lola, lolo nyo. Pero hindi kayo taga doon. Kasi pumasok lamang kayo sa womb ng nanay nyo, paglabas nyo, amnesia. Tindihan niya? Pero isip nyo bright. Okay? Pero ang problema, because by nature, we are completely dependent upon God. Dahil sa conditioning natin, naging dependent tayo sa source ng security na temporary na nakagisnatan, connected with this body. Kaya suffering ka parate. Lalo na ngayon, di ba? Inisip mo, nandito ka, unsa na lang ka, mahitabo. Biglang pag-uwi mo, wala na lahat. Okay, nagkaroon ng earthquake, lumubog yung tampilisan. Di ba? Asa sila, di ba? Hindi mo, nakalimutan mo na kung sino ka, asa pag yun sila. Okay? Di ba may ganun palabas? Yung born identity. Oh, yung born identity. Tapos hindi pa yun, nakakaano, tapos na-condition ka. Okay? Na-condition ka. What if, bigla nahulugan ka, nabangga ka ng truck, nagising ka. Yung mga conditioning na nakita mo, o akala mo, papa, mama mo, anak, kinsa ka. Taga-asa ka. Di ba? Mabuang ka. Intindihan niya? So this is a crazy world when you're conditioned by the three modes of material nature identify as the body. Yung amnesia, kumbaga sa computer, nag-crash. So kailangan lagyan mo bagong program. Okay? Eh yung, Pentium 1 lang yung program. Nag-crash. In-upgrade mo, naging Pentium, Duro ba yan, whatsoever. So wala na lahat yun. Okay? So, very clear ba? Pero how come hindi natin makita? Okay? So anyway, what will connect us? Yun ang pinaka-importante. What will connect you with God? Okay? Yun ang hindi natakel ng lahat ng faith. Because the relationship is contaminated based upon, number one, selfishness about this body, about their interests. And the teachings of that is transcendental is to be in harmony with the will of God. Meaning, to do the will of God. But yung faith na pinalo mo is about you and God doing your will. Okay? And your idea is sin. What is sin all about? So, hindi nila na-address ko ano yung sin. Ang idea nila ng sin lang is that we're born sinful. That's not true. We're conditioned in this world and we don't have this knowledge about how to move in this world wherein we are not encumbered o yung consequence, wala. Like for example, sa teachings ng Sri Upanishad, everything animate or inanimate that is within this universe is owned and controlled by God. Knowing well to whom they belong, one should use only the quota that is allotted to him. Just like in this place now, sa Philippines, di ba may rule of law eh. Alam mo? Hindi pwedeng, even sa etiquette, di ba? Halimbawa, ikaw, even sa bundo, okay? You identify na you're free, okay? Inisip mo, wala akong pakialam sa lahat, okay? Inisip niya, halimbawa, inisip mo, wala akong pakialam, I will do my will. Alis ka ng damit, lakad ka sa labas, ubo, huliin ka ng pulis, di ba? Kasi, public scandal, di ba? Naintindihan nyo? Di ba? Ngayon, dito sa mundo na to, lahat ng bagay ay bilang sukat, okay? If you use it for your sense enjoyment, meaning you, the person who identifies this body, for example, and you try to find happiness through the senses because ang nangyayari, yung happiness, fulfillment, you're trying to find happiness to this limited temporary world and a different energy. Unlimited yung craving mo. It's about life. It's about relationship. And then what you do, you use yung material energy and then there's consequence, karma, good or bad. Okay? Para sa kanila, sinful yon. But in the true sense, yung living entity, ikaw lang yun nandyan, gumawa ka ng isang move, may reaction. Okay? So, ang idea nila, we're born sinful. That's not true. Okay? The reason we get entangled because we're ignorant of our true identity and we're not connected with what is transcendental. Transcendental to this material world. Kaya yung living entity who comes here, he comes, but you have these desires that have been planted years and years since time immemorial. It fructifies, okay? It fructifies. Yun ang natitaste nyo ngayon. So when you engage in the process that is the purificatory process given to us, then, and following the rules or the laws of God based upon devotional service, then you're free. Okay? So Lord Krishna states in Bhagavad Gita that the three modes of material nature is insurmountable. Insurmountable, hindi natin kaya. But he who surrenders to Him and engages in devotional service, he overcomes it. Why? Because you're now in harmony with the will of God. Okay? You use everything in the service of God. But prior to engaging in karma yoga, in the service of God, ang nangyari, we try to consume, enjoy, supposedly so-called enjoyment by trying to find happiness in this world. So what happened? Because we're empty-hearted, we become selfish, we become self-centered, it's all about us. Kaya we become, this consciousness of materialism, we become narcissistic, meaning lahat ng nakita mo rito is for your consumption. You become a hedonist. Yun yung materialist. You become so diseased, meaning you identify with the body. And when you identify with the body, definitely the senses will always be agitated because the mind, you'll be following the desire in the mind. So yun yung science na makikita nyo. It's not that you're born simple. It's how you act, how you engage in activities. Either it's karma yoga, transcendental, or karmatic good or bad. Okay? Tindihan niya? Is it clear sa inyo? Okay, I'll read this para magkaroon tayo ng clarity. Ito, chapter 28, 4th canto. Still one of the verses here being narrated by Sukadev Goswami to Maharaj Pariksit. But it's a talk between it's about King Puranjana, okay? My dear friend, when you enter such a body along with a woman of material desires, you become overly absorbed in sense enjoyment. Because of this, you have forgotten your spiritual life due to your material conception. You are placed in various miserable conditions. Okay? When you falsely identify yourself as the body, now, yung body, ang ibig sabihin, not just the human body, lahat ng bodies dito. But in our case, because we are in a human form, we have this intelligence, we can see, you can ask this question, why are you suffering? Okay? Why are you here? Okay? Ito yung purport. When a person becomes materially engrossed, ibig sabihin ng engrossed, gross ba? Gross. Gross means, ito, di ba parang kumakain ka ng, alam mo pag sinabi sa'yo, oh, you're so gross. Di ba ganun yung magsalita mo, oh, you're so gross. Kumakain ka ng hita ng baboy. Di ba? It's so gross. Hilaw pag yun. O kumakain ka ng steak na half-cooked, may dugo pa. You're so gross like the jackals and lions. Okay? Gross. Okay? Subtle naman, iba. You manipulate, love me, serve me. You make believe you're good. Okay? You serve, subtle, then you want to get something. Okay? Okay? Intindihan nyo? Magbait-bait ka, magdala ka ng something, pa-cute-cute yung boses mo, payakap-yakap ka, but pagtagal, give me this, give me that. Kita niya? Oh, manipulative. So that's the problem. We are trying to play God. We manipulate matter, gross or subtle, to get what? Something that will make us happy. Okay? Kaya ang relationship naman dito, puro contaminated, okay? Sabi ng mama mo, oy, kailangan ang grade mo 99.9. Okay? Nga naman, na cellphone bago, hindi Pentium. iPhone. My phone. Kasi Philippines, my phone. Hindi iPhone. Oh, talagang trabaho ka. Okay? Gawa ka ng mga paraan para makaging 99.9, okay? Ang problema, may ganyan na akong kapitbahay. Sa bahay, pagdating namin, bibo kayong balay. Nag-graduate na ang pangalan nun? Lord something, ang pangalan niya. Lord ang pangalan niya. Yung pala, yung 66, nilagyan niya lang 0, ginawa niyang 88. Okay? Baksak pala siya. Hindi pala siya nag-graduate, drop out. So, napakita niya yung card na, wow, 88 ang anak ko. Honor. Masi second honor fights na. Pagtagal, ba't hindi ka pa nag-aaral? Yung pala, baksak. So, babalik ka uli ng 4th year. Okay? Okay, ito. When a person becomes materially engrossed, he has no capacity to hear about spiritual existence. Forgetfulness of spiritual existence entangles a man more and more in material existence. Such is the result of sinful life. Okay? Various bodies are developed with the material ingredients because of different types of sinful activities. King Puranjana assumed the body of a woman by Darby as a result of his sinful activities. Bhagavad Gita clearly says that such a body is a lowborn. If one takes shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, however, he can be elevated to the highest perfection. Even though he be lowborn, one acquires lower birth when one's spiritual intelligence is reduced. So, but spiritual life is transcendental to this, material conditioning. Okay? So, I like to point something to all of us. Because we're looking for a friend, we have forgotten our identity, but after understanding yung true identity nyo, natin, there is an eternal activity that is given to us. It is the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya. Okay? Lord Chaitanya came here. Okay? And that pastimes, it is eternal. What we should do is focus ourselves, our life, in entering that pastimes. Okay? Parang may bandwagon ba? Alam yung bandwagon? Dumaan yung bus. Na bus ba? And nandun yung chanting ng holy names. Okay? Yun yung pastimes ni Lord Nityananda sa ni Lord Chaitanya. It's all about the sweetness of remembering the pastimes of the Supreme Person and experiencing the sweetness of how the devotees are serving Lord Krishna in their attachment. So Lord Chaitanya comes as the embodiment of Radha and Krishna in loving remembrance, remembering Lord Krishna's happiness, okay? In the mood of Radha and Krishna, okay? Yun yung, and how can we enter that world, okay? So that's the eternal pastimes, okay? So the living entity who forgets everything, who is in amnesia, we must ask this question. This material energy is eternal. This spiritual energy is also eternal. In quality, we have the same quality as the Supreme Person, okay? But in minute yung quality na yon, we're not self-sufficient, we're not God, okay? So ang mangyayari nun, being life, we must be connected with life, okay? And the life of the Supreme Person is simply enjoyment with his devotees. So ang reason we are engaged in the Sankirtan movement, so we jump sa bandwagon na yon, which is eternal. Okay? And the process itself, when you jump sa bandwagon na yon, you get out from this ocean of misery na you're drowning. Okay? Because this world is where we have become conditioned, and this place is a place of suffering. Okay? Is it clear sa inyo? Okay. So ngayon, ang nangyayari, kung wala tayong spiritual master coming from God, God Himself, we will try to figure out with our senses. Okay? So ano yung condition ninyo? Halimbawa, lahat ng kasama nyo, ang idea, kasi we want to take shelter of someone. Okay? The problem is what kind of relationship will you have with the Supreme Person? Okay? You will be very close or very far? Okay? So, kung ang relationship mo sa Supreme Person is about God will simply save you, okay? So, meaning, you have your own world, okay? And this world, if you're not careful, there's good and bad karma. And you engage in sinful activities, okay? Because you don't own anything here. And then you use it for your sense enjoyment. There's a corresponding reaction. So, nangyayari, they relate to God and they concoct this idea that, alam mo yung concoct, imagine ba, that Jesus Christ came here to save us. Yeah, that's true. Because He came wherever the devotee is. His life is a perfect example of a servant of God. Perfectly, because he's a teacher by example. So anyone who comes in contact with him will be imbibed. Alam mo yung imbibe? With devotional service. Okay? Alam mo yung ma-imbibe? Halimbawa, gusto nyo maglaro ng basketball, okay? Pumunta rito kung buhay pa si Kobe, okay? Hindi, namatay naman siya bago magka-COVID, di ba? So kung buhay pa si Kobe, nagpunta sa Madana, okay? And he teaches you how to dribble. And to hold the ball with 3 fingers. Okay? Turuan niya kayo. Mas maliit yung kamay nyo. Okay? Hindi kailangan daw mataas ka. Kasi pwede daw maliit lang yung body mo, pero kasi bilis ka ng daga, tumakbo. Yung mga malalaki, pwede kang dumaan sa ilalim. Hawak, di-dribble ka, hawak yung bola. Okay? At makashoot ka ng malayo. Hindi ka na kailangan, supalpalin ng mga malalaki kasi gaganon mo yan sila. Okay? Takbo ka sa ilalim. Sa likod ka. Shoot. Okay? You're imbibed with this, yung mga technique niya hanggang isip mo, wow, my idol. Maging icon mo siya. Idol ko si Kobe, okay? Ano number siya? 24? Ano number ni Kobe? 24, okay? May 24 din. Okay? Yung buhok mo, gaya rin niya. Kasi hindi man pwede. Dahil buhok niya, Afrikaner ba? So, kailangan 012, okay? Mag-012 uli kayo, ha? Mahaba na buhok niyo, okay? So, yun ang point ko. You're imbibed dahil sa association mo sa Kanya. You're encouraged, okay? So, ganun din sa spiritual life, okay? When you come in contact with the devotee of God, there's this potency to connect us with what we're longing for. Kasi yun yung buhay niya, eh. And He is under the protection of Lord Krsna, Radha, and Krsna because he is completely surrendered to his spiritual master who is the maidservant of Radha and Krsna. So, yung mundo na papasukin natin is about the eternal pastimes of God. So, yung relationship nyo very close. It's about surrender. Your will is my will. I don't have any will of my own. I can just surrender everything, No more. You're not expecting anything, okay? Just put your life in His hands. Ibig sabihin, you don't have a will of your own. You're very close kasi siya na lang yung shelter mo. And then you relate to Him by singing His glories. Yun yung babasahin natin now bago tayo mag-end and the association. And we enter that world that is transcendental, the eternal pastimes of Lord Nityananda and Lord Chaitanya, the Sankirtan movement. And the holy names of God is being chanted by the devotees, okay? And the holy names of God is God incarnating us, in God incarnation, God, the sound, Krishna, okay, is complete. So when you say Krishna and Krishna, you enter that transcendental world where in your heart, you have a change of heart through association with the devotee because his influence you. Just like when you're so much influenced by someone who's imbibed with someone, with his character and everything, But the problem is, someone is conditioned cannot purify your heart. So when you associate with the devotees of God, the pure loving servant, you don't need to be physically with him because all you need is to listen, okay? Listen, hearing. Then you apply it in your life. Just like this Brahmana, the Brahmana who's very poor, he was able to hear the saintly person how to be connected with God, how to please Lord Narayan by offering nice food. But that relationship is very close, not unlike the relationship of someone who's a salvationist. Alam mo yung salvationist? Masalbar lang ba? Makaluwas lang mo. Okay? So ang idea nila is that makaluwas daw sila sa yung katawan. Hindi nga nila alam kung sino sila eh. Alam nila, sila yung katawan na may soul. Makaluwas sila. Okay? Sino makaluwas? Yung spirit soul, yung katawan. Sino ka? Di ba? Kaya malaking question mark eh. Sino ka ba talaga? So ang nangyari, ang idea nila is that si Krishna, God the Father, sent His only begotten Son. Yeah, that's sent His only begotten Son. Siya lang ba ang anak ng Diyos? Samantalang ang prayer ni Jesus is, kung makarinig nyo, Our Father, atong Amaha. Di ba? Okay? The reason he is the most pleasing child of God because he's completely surrendered to God. Okay? He's a pure loving servant of God. Tayo, ang tanong, we are all children of God also. Ang question, we become conditioned. Okay? Na-condition tayo ba? Nagkaroon tayo ng amnesia, na-condition tayo to identify with this body and the influence of the modes of material nature. So, ang hirap lumabas. The only way na masalbar ka talaga is when you jump in the bandwagon of the eternal pastimes of Lord Chaitanya. Yun yung Sankirtan movement. Kaya si Krsna na mismo nag-arrange na mas mapadali tayong makapasok sa mundo na yon. Kasi magiging iba yung altitude nyo. Hindi na yung masave ako sa sinful activities ko. Ibig sabihin nun, may sarili ka pang will. No? You're not in harmony with what God's will is. Okay? Hindi ka in harmony with your true transcendental nature. Kasi may tama ka pa. Tinamaan ka pa ng matinding tama ng forgetfulness. May amnesia ka pa ba? Naintindihan niya? So ngayon, as time moves on, you have a recall. Yung question na, who am I? Why am I here? Paano ba ako matututo? You know? And then you chant the holy names. Yung effect nun, you have a total recall of who you are. Naintindihan niya? Because what will happen is that you will be able to see the influence of the three modes of material nature. You're able to see the desires in the mind. You're able to see your intelligence. And you're able to see what separates you from doing the will of God. Okay? Meaning separation, you're not the desire. You're not the mind. You're not the intelligence. Okay? You're the person who is sitting in this machine made out of material elements. Intindihan na niyo? So yun ang basic ng spiritual life. Basic. But what is important is our activities. And that we will discuss tomorrow. Okay? Activities. Kasi the living entity, by nature, you're active. Di ba? Hindi nga kayo pwedeng, hindi abrihan ng baba nyo, di ba? Pag ma-meet lang yung somebody, masig ganyang kalapit, tapos may nakikinig din, unsa mo na, di ba? Hindi man nyo napansin yun? You group together, yung sound, everything, activities, okay? So, ang tanong, is it the eternal pastimes of Lord Chaitanya and Lord Krsna? Okay? So, you're looking for happiness, so direction dapat natin to jump upon the transcendental pastimes. And how can you do that? Through receiving the wisdom that is coming from God Himself. Okay? It begins with God embracing you through the sound, Krsna. Yan? Is it clear? Okay? Pag ma-remember, magkakaroon ka ng recall who you are. Okay? Makikita mo. But yung recall mo na, sino nga ba talaga ako 10 million years ago? Hindi mo na ma-recall yun. Kasi yung body na yun, wala na. Okay? Ibig sabihin, wala pang Pentium 1 noon, wala pang Duro. Ano ba cellphone ngayon? Yung cellphone nyo hindi pa touchscreen, you know? Wala na yun. Wala, yung data nun, wala pang, ano yun? Micro, anong tawag niya? Ano yung ilalagay yung chart? Wala pang micro SD nun. Kasi ano pa lang kayo, yung cellphone nyo na, ano yun? 10, 3 ano yun? 10, ano yun? Cellphone na may antenna ba na gano'n? Hindi lang yun. Kung lalo na yung cellphone nyo gano'n kalaki, o kaya yung telepono nyo may gano'n pa, na magla-login pa kayo. Di ba? Nakakita na ba kayo gano'n? Yung telepono na pagdating ng technology na yung mga mayaman nasa mall, dala-dala yung yaya nila na naka-uniforme kasi sa mga mayaman, gusto nila pag sa bahay, yung mga trabahante may uniforme para ma-distinguish nyo kung sino yung mga sakop. Okay? Okay? Pagpunta sa mall, dala-dala nung sakop yung kring telepono, okay? Naunsa diha akong bata sa balay, okay? Ganun kalaking telepono, dala-dala ni Matutina, okay? Then after that, na-transform. Ganun na yung cellphone. Hindi na kailangan ng alalay. Dala-dala mo na rito. Kaya naglalakad ka, may dala kang cellphone na malaki, telepono. Kaya parang pareho lang man din. May antena na gano'n, naglalakad ka, shopping ka, kring! Hello? Okay? Laki ng cellphone, di ba? Ngayon, di na gano'n. Cellphone, kasi laki na lang ng ATM. Kaya pag yung lalaki may mistress, hindi nalalaman ng wife na nagri-ring kasi nandito lang sa loob eh. Okay? At may hearing aid nandito. Kumusta, honey? Kailan ka pupunta rito? Tapos yung wife nagluluto. Kinsay ka istorya ni mo? Wala. Magtamot lang ko likod na ako. Di ba? Intindihan nyo? Okay? At yung mga iba naman, takot na takot sa image nila. Kaya alam nyo, puntayan sila sa mall. Bili ng bagong brief. Kailangan walang butas. Kasi daw, pag na-aksidente sila, di ba, ma-aksidente ka, daling ka sa ospital, hiwain mo yung damit mo. Busulot ang brief. Nakabikili. Macho. So, kadlok sila na pag i-opera sila. Di ba, ganun na sa ospital, di ba? Pagdating nyo, maglabay, abri, pak, asang samat. Pagkita, uy, nakatupis. Anyway, I just try to wake you up. Haribol, what's that?
Haribol, Lord. Namo Siddhaswarupananda, Paramahamsa namine, Gora Karuna Swarupaya, Radha Krishna Praslayate.
Namo Siddhaswarupananda, Paramahamsa namine, Gora Karuna Swarupaya, Radha Krishna Praslayate.
Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Nayanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Nayanya.
Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Nayanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Nayanya.
Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara, Shri Vasade Gaurabhakta Vrinda.
Bhakta Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara, Shri Vasade Gaurabhakta Vrinda.
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Hari Bol Krishna,
Madana Mohana,
Hari Bol Krishna,
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Hari Bol Krishna,
Madana Mohana.
Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana, Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana.
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Hari Bol Krishna,
Madana Mohana,
Hari Bol Krishna,
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Hari Bol Krishna,
Madana Mohana. Haribol, Haribol.
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Haribol Nitai Gaur.
Madana
Everybody sing.
Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana.
Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana, Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana. Haribol, Nitai Gaur, Haribol. Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana, Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana. Jaya Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Gurudev.
Jaya Jaya Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Jaya Jaya Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Gurudev.
Jaya Jaya Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa. Jaya Jaya Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa.
Jaya Jaya Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa. Jaya Jaya Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa.
Namo Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa Namine Gora Karuna Swarupaya Radha Krishna Prestayate.
Namo Siddhaswarupananda
Haribol, Jai Gurudev.
Paramahamsa Namine
Haribol.